All right, so you'll say, all right, like, so now you talk so much about all this SaaS, all these ways, right? Micro, AI, normal, whatever, right? Now, when we're gonna see some money, right? Okay, all right, relax. So then, obviously, if you're paying attention, you understand that the bare minimum that I can provide, okay? And I would recommend you to go ahead and research a little bit more from people that been doing this for a long time, have a clear idea of what they're doing. I mean, what this is about, right? And understand that I'm learning as well through this process. I'm teaching you, so through my process of learning, you could learn something too. So don't take the piss out of me, okay? And if you have no idea what a SaaS is after watching all this, I guess that's the door right there. You see the door there? All right, that's yours. Anyways, welcome to the 10-step playbook to build a SaaS that can reach a 10 million ARR. What the hell does ARR stands for? God knows. This presentation is based on a comprehensive guide that breaks down the entire process from foundational theory to a hands-on project. Now, you have to understand that this slide is being somehow summarized on somebody else hard work. I haven't pulled up this from my own experience. Okay, so this is real data right here. This data is valid. Whatever you see, it's the man that picks it, that out. That doesn't have any credentials. Okay, but it's up to you if you wanna get the source out of it or question my methods. Anyways, so um, so you want to create a SaaS, but you don't know the landscape, right? Well, that's a problem. So before we dive into steps, right, let's understand the core components of a SaaS, and it all starts with separation of front end and back end. Hopefully, you know what the front end is and the back end is. Otherwise, you're gonna get the back of my hand on the front of your face or stuff like that. It connects somehow, right? You see the connection. Separates the user facing interface from the server side logic. So that tells us that whatever we're building pretty much is human. Well, most of the stuff is human focused, right? So because you have the eyes, you have a front end because you're looking at it. That's why you have a screen, right? If it will be a world of blind people, like that movie, I don't think you will have a front end, you know? You will have a keyboard probably. Anyways, so the front end is basically what you're seeing, right? Whatever is exposed in your face in the interface. And it could be on a website, it could be an application, it could be an operating system, many other things. So all that stuff that you see here, okay, happens somewhere. It's a code that securely does a lot of this stuff, right? So therefore, you need a backend to do that. So do all those operations and stuff, like login system, like retrieval of data from inside, like uploading photos, stuff like that. So then you have servers and APIs. Service API basically is where you store all that data, right? And the APIs is like the keys that opens those storage storage units, right? Where you're storing all this data. And you could say that it's I mean, this engine communicates through APIs and stores all of its critical information in a database. Understanding these fundamental building blocks is the first step towards creating a scalable product. Now, these are big words, obviously. You know them. If you new in this world, you will understand that computer tech guys have their own language. They speak their own language, right? It's not English. It might look like English, but it's not English. Okay, lots of these terms you don't encounter on a daily basis. The more you speak this language, the more you'll understand certain terms. And certain terms here may be you, for example, backend. Probably hear this word before, right? But it had a different meaning, right, in your world. So I guess the first thing here is to get yourself familiarized with the terms and everything if you are a beginner and understand what exactly does it mean. But at the end of the day, these are just components of in order to make this happen, right? This application, SaaS application, you want to make it happening, you have to understand it's not just a simple thing. You do, it's a, it's like a orchestra, right? It's like a band of instruments that sings together, right? So you can hear that nice song at the end. I mean, whatever in your ears. Uh, right. So the first step, basically, you have to build a foundation. In this step, you set up Node.js and Express.js backend. Step 2, implement a MongoDB database for data storage. Manage users with a robust authentication system using JWTs. Uh, to be honest with you, there are many ways to do it. Okay, this is just one way, and there's benefits and there's reasons why Express.js makes sense, and there's a reason why MongoDB makes sense, and so on. Now, I'm not gonna stay here and explain why. I'll just give some examples. What you want to understand though is that you have to choose what makes sense for you according to where you are, first of all, and where your market is. Right now, where you are physically, but where the market, who is using this app, for this SaaS, where does he lives? Because in certain countries makes sense to use certain tools, in other countries other tools. This is exactly like BMW and Volvo and Ford and all that stuff, right? So yeah, make it make sense for you. Use the right tools for you. Anyways, moving on, creating a subscription system. It's the next steps, which involve building the core of your SaaS, a fully functional subscription system. This includes creating a complete subscription tracking API to manage your subscription, integrating with a payment gateway to handle transactions securely, and adding a system for reminders and notifications to keep users engaged and informed about their billing cycles. To be honest, I don't know much about this, but for me, subscription system is a very fruitful system. It does work, makes a lot of money. Do not worry about it. Otherwise, you wouldn't see Netflix making having billions, because apparently it makes more sense to gather little by little from a large amount of people than trying to gather bigger chunks from lesser, for some reason, right? Because when you pay a larger amount, you kind of um, question, you look for alternatives. You don't pay like that. But when you pay a little bit, you're feeling like, you know what, nah, fuck it, so what if I don't use this application this month, I'll keep the subscription. So that's how they're making money, really. They basing that's the strategy. It's based on your laziness, on your yeah, this ability of don't giving a fuck, yeah, careless. And then, monthly they deduct the money out of your account. It doesn't matter you've been watching Netflix 3 months ago. You're still paying for that subscription, right? Because you're watching a movie per month. Anyways, that's your problem. Anyway, now we're moving on. And they're making money. What would be making a lot more sense? It would be to actually pay for what you use, right? So you, for example, you pay a certain fee for the app, and then you say this month I'm gonna use this feature and this feature and this feature, and I think that's about it. And then you're gonna pay for the use of those features. Some months you don't use any features. You take them out. You're not gonna use them. You're clean. You don't. You still have the app. You pay for it. It will make a lot more sense like that. But you know, these are strategies that people are thinking for years and stuff like that. So it's systems in places that it will be hard for you to change like that. Right now, you have any power to do anything about that. Anyways, security and automation. With a core system in place, of course, you need to add layers of security and automation to make it robust and efficient. Um, this includes implementing API rate limiting to prevent misuse and adding bot protection to secure your endpoints. Well, uh, yeah, these are definitely, obviously, when you create something, one thing you have to understand is that people are assholes, okay? They will abuse the fuck out of your API keys. They don't have mercy, bro. Some of them, at least, right? Don't think because you're a startup, they're gonna think, oh, maybe, oh, this guy is a startup, bro. Let's just use this app twice, 3 times. Don't abuse the API keys. No, if they can generate 1,000 videos, they generate 1,000 videos in one day, for some reason. Do they need those videos? No, but they can do it. So that's the point, right? So what you can do to do that, you have to take some sort of security measurements, to be smart about it, and allow them to use them as long as they are reasonable. It's up to you, wherever you can afford. My opinion is to let them use their own API keys, create a system in such a way that they bring their own key and they can abuse the fuck out of their own keys as much as they want. So I feel like it's a better strategy, but if you want to, if since Google and all these uh, big big pockets guys kind of create these habits, bad habits, for the people to think that stuff is for free, get something for free and then get a taste, taste this, come here, taste this, hop, they hook you up with a subscription or something, right? So it's all like a scamming game, really, instead of an honest game. That's what it is. So yeah, it's up to you. I mean, you understand these things or not, but I can't tell you what to do. But yeah, I guess They all kind of wait, they're expecting something for free. Nowadays, we all kind of expecting stuff for free. We don't want to go ahead and pay for every single thing, which would be a fair thing to do, right? Because if you go to the shop, you buy a bread, you're probably gonna eat it, right? You don't go there and say, "Hey, can I have a taste? Let me just get a slice." Yeah. But for some reason, in this world, people are willing to pay upfront for that to use to see it. It been creating this idea, and I don't know if that makes sense for you. Then that's fine, but kind of have to have a system in place that stop people from abusing the API keys, and all that stuff. It makes no sense for you, but for them it does, right? So then, uh, launching and scaling. I guess the final and the most crucial step is to get your product live, right? Otherwise, it's just a castle, a sand castle, right? You're looking at it and you feel so proud of it, but nobody cares. Take a picture, make a video, put it on YouTube, that's it. This involves obviously deploying your API to a production ready server where it can be accessed by users worldwide. The key takeaway from this entire process is that the skills you learn by building a real world project like this are invaluable for a career in technology. Say that again. Hello? Hello? You still there? So, the key takeaway from this entire process is that the skills you learn by building a real world project, okay, so not in a sandbox, is like this are invaluable for a career in technology. So the skills that you learn by doing this are invaluable. I mean, people need this type of people that have skills from building this real life technology based on data, on the market, testing it, all that. That's what they need. They don't need people that build applications in the sandbox on Google AI, right? Here, because I could show you a number of them, and I don't think there's anybody that gives a fuck about it. I'll be honest with you. So, therefore, you need to have skills developed in building real-world projects, okay, that people are using on an everyday basis. They pay subscriptions and all that stuff. So, yeah, the playbook basically provides a clear path from a foundational understanding to launching a scalable professional product. So you can go back and look into these 10 steps. See, as simple as that. Step 1, set up a Node.js XP backend, implement Mongo, manage users with a robust authentication system, create a full subscription tracking API, implement secure payments integration, add reminders and notifications to engage users, and don't worry about them because they take their notification off anyway. So one thing that works though is that a red thing, that you see on Facebook, on social media, where you see all how many um, messages you got, like a response or something like that. That always kind of attracts your attention, isn't it? And then add API rate limiting and bot protection. Um, implement automated email reminders for renewals, which is an annoying part, isn't it? But it's nice to see that, oh, my renewal is coming up so that you can cancel it in time. So then handle automated payments And by billing cycles, this is definitely a must and makes money, because you want people serious about your SaaS, that they are willing to keep this in an automated way and don't have to pay every single time. And then it launched deployed up in a production ready server. So I didn't said much about this, but I'll be honest with you, production ready server, this is another headache that you're gonna have at that moment. I'm not gonna stay here and spend time explaining you, but basically, since this is the last point, because all these guys seem nice, oh, come on, bro, play in this sandbox, yeah, come on, bro, I'm gonna give you a 10%, a 20%, take this is just only £10, £10 here, £5 there, £10 here. They're all like, you know they all want money, bro, right? All these steps here, basically, don't worry about it. They're all monetized, monetized. They're all making money out of it for every single thing. But since you going through and you paying left, right, left, right, left, right, going through it, come with the project to the end. Now this guy here is like the man with a plan, sitting down with a type of approval signature or something, right? And he's like, oh, let me see what you got here. And it looks, oh, no, this is not good. Oh, you're always pretentious and stuff. That's another story you have to figure out yourself. So, according to the way you're gonna deploy it, you'll see there's a lot of bureaucracy around this. Because from that point on, you reach the client basically, and there's the potential for you to actually make money. And yeah, that's another fish to fry later on. All right, thank you very much. I hope this playbook gives you a good understanding. Now, wish you very best, and hopefully you reach this ARR as soon as possible, and come back and say, yeah, I did it because of you. Thank you very much.